What we are going to do is first we'll create a new folder. Let's say inside this, as per yesterday's instance, we are going to create two new folders over here. One is for author and one is for publisher. And just the jar and the license file, we'll paste it over here. Now, once this is done, go to command prompt. For that, where is this? See, there are some prerequisites. Prerequisites as in what all things are needed to run the AEM application. So if you go to back again, first thing you need to confirm whether Java is installed in your system or not. So in my case, it's already installed. Make sure that you have Java 8 or Java 11, either of them installed. You see. So once you type Java -version command, it should show you some Java. And another thing that has to be kept in mind is try to have the Oracle JDK installed or Oracle Java installed in your system, not the Open JDK one. Okay. So this is the Java version which I have at the moment in my system. Along with that, there is one more software that you need to install, which is called as Maven. So how do you check whether Maven is installed in your system or not? You have to type this command. Again, installation can be found out via internet. I'll just share the proper links. Along with that, we need Node to be installed in the system. npm has to be installed in the system. All four things should be present. These three. So out of these four, this Maven, Node, and npm would be required when we are building the project. And this would be required to run your AEM instance. Now, how do you install it? So for installation of Maven, type search in this. Search for this specific term, mycong, because this guy has given it in a very good way. I think this is for macOS. For Mac and for Windows, both the options are present over here. So just read it line by line and you should be able to install Maven properly in your system. All the installations are done. Okay. And then only try to install your AEM version. And before we see the installation, let's have a small bit of introduction. What AEM is. Yesterday we talked about what CMS is. So when it comes to introduction part, AEM is a content management system. Yesterday we saw what's a content management system that helps the organizations keep track of their content. So when I say keep track, it lets them create and manage the content. Okay. It's a faster and an easier way to give access to your for customers what they want by providing them user interfaces, and they can change the content of the page. So you see this, they can change the content of the page without being a non-technical person. Okay, when I say the word non-technical person, I mean is, let's say, this is the text which is appearing on my website. This is also a text. This is also a text. All these things, there's text, there's image, there's again text, image, and the entire website is a combination of text, images, some colors, and all those videos, audios. So as a business user, they have the flexibility with the help of a CMS that they can change the text whenever they want, wherever they want. Okay. And the change in the text does not involve any kind of coding or any kind of changes in the HTML. So has any one of you worked on WordPress, or has any one of you have idea what I'm talking about at this point? Anyone? So has anyone has worked with CMS before?
So I just did ordering previously, Ashish.
Okay.
So in the component level, we can change the content, right?
So you understand what I'm talking about when I say that user does not
Yes.
technical when they can change it. Okay. Anyone else who has worked with any kind of CMS, not only AEM? Moving forward, and again, as I mentioned yesterday as well, it's the ease of use which is present in AEM. There is a learning curve, but once you get habitual to the AEM, it's quite easy to use. Every concept is almost similar. So we again quite a help for you to develop things later. Coming to features, what all features are there in AEM? First of all, you have connected DAM. So what it means is DAM. DAM is a very important feature in AEM. DAM means Digital Asset Management or Digital Asset Manager. As the name suggests, Digital Asset Manager. So what were the digital assets that we talked about yesterday? Your audio, images, videos, and everything. So DAM is a set of related programs that lets you manage your digital content or digital assets. You have single page application editor and you can build single page applications. You have, again, nowadays, AEM is being passed as cloud as a service. So you have cloud offering for AEM, which again, you have all the capabilities of cloud. They can automatically scale up, they can automatically scale down, auto healing features, and everything is there. So all those things combined, they will help the business to deliver faster experiences to the end user. Core component updates. Core components are set of components which are given to us by Adobe, and Adobe keeps on updating those components. Like again, they keep on releasing new service packs. Along with that, we have Java 11 support. And when it comes to integrations, yesterday we saw Marketing Cloud. All those things can be integrated, but not only limited to that. You can have integration to external databases as well. You can integrate with external authentication servers, your Active Directories, and so on. Any questions so far? So let's talk about installation now. There are two ways to install the software. Once you have this jar file, there are two ways in which this can be installed. First is in command prompt. Type CMD and make sure that you are currently pointing at the path where your jar file is present and the license file is present. Before doing that, you have to use this command. This is the first way, which is you have to type Java jar, name of the jar file, -p, port number on which your AEM application is going to run. And once you click OK, it will create one jar file, one folder, and it will extract whatever is present inside this into the folder. See, this is Java jar, name of the jar file, along with the -p or -p indicates the port number on which we want our application to run. Yesterday, we saw there was one best practice. It says that we will have to add the author should be running on even number port. By default, it should run on 4502. But even if it's running on some other service or some other port number, it's completely okay. But at this moment of time, when things are new, I recommend for everyone, stick with 4502. And later, once you have understanding, you can move to 4000, 8080, 8000, either is fine. This is one way. All you have to do is after that, press enter, and it will start extracting and do things for you. Another way is renaming the jar file. So first rule is renaming. It should start with CQ. Okay. Then you have to separate. You have to tell which mode you are going to run your jar in. It can either be author or it can either be publisher. So in my case, it's author mode. And after that, I have to give a port number. So as you can see, this port number will define on which port my AEM is going to run. Once you have renamed your jar properly, just double click. Java and everything is installed, all the compatibility is there. It will open a small pop-up for you and it will start the installation process. And as you saw, as soon as I double clicked on this jar file, it immediately created a CRX-quick start field. So let it extract things. By the time those things are getting extracted, let's go into CRX quick start. You see, there are a number of folders which are present. So at this moment, the only folder which is important to us is logs. You can see all these log files, and each log has its significance, but again, keeping things light currently, so we are only interested in error.log. And this is the file which will help you to understand whether things are working fine or not. So once you switch back between these files, it should say that some things has changed. What was the last line? It's 2859 or 2860. If you switch back, new logs should have been added into this. So last line now is 3152. As long as some logs are being generated, even though you do not see any, even if, let's say, things get stuck, things are not moving, but if logs are getting generated, then you can be assured that something is happening in the back. And also one more thing which you can do at this moment is, see, you can see your quick start is happening on 4502. Just type localhost 4502/system/console/bundles. This is the first interface which will get loaded up when the AEM is starting. It will ask for some username and password. By default, username and password is admin and admin. Click on sign in. As you can see, this is my Felix console, OSGI console. This goes by many names, okay, or bundles console. So there are total 579 bundles, out of which 150 are active. One is in a different state, 4 are in resolved state, and 424 are in installed state. So if you reload it now, this number will start decreasing eventually. Okay, and the numbers which are in active state, this will start increasing. And all these 570 starting with 0. So that's why you have the last ID as 570. All of these are bundles. Okay. So another question that pops up is, what is a bundle? So bundle is your compiled Java code which has been deployed over here. So everything is one project's compiled data or compiled Java code that has been deployed over here. We will see these things further, but at this moment, this is just a compiled Java code. That's it. And you see these numbers, this number is not changing. But if you go to this logs, some logs should be getting generated. And that is the proof that things are working in the background, even though we do not see any kind of progress on the progress bar. So it will take some time, at least 5 to 7 minutes to 10 minutes as well, depending on the system. By the time this is happening, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, Ashish. Is there any change or any effect if we change the port number, like other?
No, there is no effect. Nothing happens. Why I'm saying you to 4502 is there is already a default agent which is configured,
Okay.
which will publish to 4503. I just want you to stay there for this time so that you can understand because the next thing that I want to show you is activation and authoring and all those things. So before activation, if I show you what replication agents are, then it would be like too much overhead.
Fine.
So trying to keep things simple at this point. But yes, to answer your question, nothing gets affected. Let's see if the numbers have changed. Okay, this has decreased. This has increased. This will keep on decreasing and this will keep on increasing. So eventually there will come a point when this will move to the end and it will tell you that AEM is started. So any minute now that can happen.
Hello, Ashish.
Yes.
To work on AEM, internet should always connected or it is in offline?
No, you do not need internet.
Oh.
AEM has started and you can see it says that it has started. This is a button which is indicating AEM has started. Tell you how much time it took to install, 499 seconds. So approximately 500 seconds, which goes around roughly 8 minutes. Nearby 8 minutes, give or take. And URL which you can use to access your AEM. If you click on this, it will open a new tab and you see there is a sign-in page. And even if in case this URL does not open for you, depending on the number on which your AEM is running, simply type localhost 4502, press enter. And you would be redirected to this login page. First things first, what is the username and password? So by default, the username and password is admin and admin. Once you are logged in, you will be seeing this kind of screen. Okay, let me submit. So you will be seeing the first screen that you will see is this kind of. So over here you have searching, you have this option which can tell you what all products are there. So right now we are only working on Experience Manager. These things we do not have. This is a tooltip option to understand if you need any kind of help, customer care and so on. This is the notification section. Any kind of message, any kind of notification that are coming your way. And this is the user information section. On the top, if you are anywhere on this page and if you want to have the default view, click on this and it will bring the default view to you. Okay, this is navigation options. These many options are present in navigation. Each has its own usage. We'll talk about that. And this is the tools section. All the tools, all the softwares which are available in AEM, you can see them from here. But you can go to them, those terminals, those screens, those applications from here. So once AEM has installed, let's see the important consoles that you would be interacting with. The first one is CRX DE Lite. What is CRX? CRX is content repository. Okay. And once you open CRX DE, you see it says full repository access with code editor, node/properties management. So what is full repository access? All these things that you see, right? We have AEM application which is running. This one. Let me close it. We have an AEM application which is running. Excuse me. So the AEM application that is running, we have to see there has to be some database associated with this. Otherwise, where will you upload all your data? Images, videos, your custom projects, your custom files, scripts, and so on. There is a database in background. And that database is a NoSQL MongoDB based DB. It says to interact with that database, you need to have one interface which is connected to that database. This CRXD is a pictorial representation of that entire database that you have. Okay. This CRXD is a pictorial representation of the repository. This is the repository I'm talking about. So if you go to any of these data stores, if you try to search, you'll only see a document. Nothing else is happening over there. If you open anything, it's not like some data is stored. Sorry, data is stored, but it's not like it's in a readable format. So without CRXD, interacting with this repository, this database is very difficult. To help you with that, CRXD comes into picture. That's what it means when they say full repository access. Second thing is they're talking about node and properties management. Each node, everything in AEM is a resource and a node. Each node, if you click on the plus icon, expand anything, everything is a node and all these are resources. So each node is going to have, see, observe over here, whenever I'm clicking anything, each node is going to have a properties, some set of properties associated with it. These are the properties which are present. And the properties which have been grayed out, they are something which were created by the system, something which we cannot change later on. But the properties which are appearing as a black one, they can be changed. You can change their values, not the name of the property, but the value. Okay. And also one more thing that has to be kept in mind is each node that you see has a very unique property, an important property, which is called as primary type. So what it lets you define is, or what it tells you is, what kind of node is this. So in my case, let's say if I click on client links, it's a link folder. If I click on community one, it's a NT folder. Even though both have the same icon, but they are of different primary types. If you click on this policy, the primary is rep and ACL. Each has its own significance. Let's say this is a page. So here it says that CQ page. And it also tells you something about the code editor. Editor is basically, you can edit the HTML files directly into this one and you can save those things. That is what code editor is all about. And as a developer, majority of your time would be spent in CSS. Any questions? Okay. So then another console that we need to see is something called as DAM admin. So to go to DAM admin, all you have to do is after your host name, after your port, just add admin. Okay. DAM admin is the place where you can upload your images, audios, everything. You can create new folders, you can upload them. Let's say if I have to upload a new file, pictures, something like this capture one is about content flow. Image that we uploaded, it got saved in my repository. It's accessible. So any image manipulation, what is the metadata with associated with that image, would be managed in the DAM admin. Similarly, there is another console that we have, which is site admin. So go to site admin, type site admin over here. You can see all the things which are related to the pages, because we are creating websites over here. This is to manage the content, manage the assets, and this is to manage the website. Any page that you are going to create, let's say, open this page. I can open the pages, I can interact with them, I can author them, and so on. Anything that is related to page would be done from site admin. Page creation, page deletion, changing the template, updating the page, changing page properties, all those things would be done from here. Similarly, you have something called as package manager. Package manager can be reached directly from CRXT. You can click on packages. It will open the package manager for you. Or from users, you can go to deployment. From here, you can click on packages. It will open the same thing for you. Observe the URLs in both. They are same. So what this package manager does is, as the name suggests, it's a set of packages. So it lets you create some kind of packages for the project. Let's say any kind of project that has present, you can create sub packages for them. You can download them. You can keep them handy later on. You can share you can share data from this one to your colleagues, maybe to your superiors, anyone. And also it will help you to attain some kind of backup. So whatever, let's say I want to keep a backup of this, I'll download it in my local directory. Tomorrow, if I delete this by any chance, or let's say all these things which this package had done to my repository, if I change those things, I can simply reinstall this package from my local directory and it will have the same kind of data that it was. Think it from this perspective. You have a backup which is present. So later on, whatever you do with this package, it does not matter. You can always restore it with the backup. Any questions? Another thing that we need to talk about is user admin. Again, user admin is also quite an important console. Name suggests this is user administration. So this will help you to manage the users which are present. What all permissions do they have? Which group are the users part of? So admin was one user. You remember when we logged into the application, we were using admin. So this is just one user which is present. And if you check, this user has all the permissions. So this is the place where you can create a new user. You can decrease, increase the permissions of anyone. You can see what all permissions are applied. Someone has to be deleted. Someone has to be newly added. Everything related to users can be managed from user admin. We have system console. System console, we saw the first one was the system console that we talked about. So you have system console / bundles. On that. And this is your system console. You can call it web console as well. This is known by another name, which is Felix console. Okay. So all three names point to the same interface. And this is the place where all your Java related bundles, all your services, they are installed. And over here you can stop any service which you want. You can refresh it. You can again have this thing updated. Let's say you update something and you want to change the references, all those possible, and you can delete bundle from here as well. That is also possible. Now, apart from this, there is one more important console that you should know, which is configuration manager. So what this configuration manager does is, or what this interface is all about, it lets you create and manage specific configurations. So let's say you have to connect to an API. So to connect to an API, you need API key. You need the URL. You need the username. You need the port number. You need the endpoints. All those things. You can create one configuration like this. You can have just the way things are authorizable over here. Authorizable as in you can change the values. Create your own configuration. You have your custom, whatever fields you want, and then you can save it. Once those are saved, your code can read it and then execute it accordingly. So again, this session is also a little bit more theoretical. But from tomorrow or day after tomorrow, once we start writing the actual code, a lot of things that we discussed, or the brief that we talked about, all the windows, all the consoles, they will be a lot more clearer. Do you have any questions for me?
Ashish, can you relate this one to real-time configuration manager?
Yeah. Let's say, again, as I mentioned, you have to connect to an API, right? Nowadays, sites are not static. You have to interact with API. Give you an example. I'll go to this project only. We have integrated with Google Search, Google Maps, okay? Let's say I'm searching for Houston. In the background, once I click, a search servlet would be called, okay? This servlet, what it will do is, it will simply go to the backend. In backend, there is already a configuration present, which stores the data about what all things I need to connect to the Google Maps API. I need to have an API key, right? I need to have the specific client ID, or client secret key. All the keys, all the endpoints and everything are already stored in the configuration. As soon as I click on search, it will do the loading. So it, in the background, it made call to the endpoint with the whatever configuration values. See, to connect to API, you need some data. That data was read from the configuration, and then background, the things were called, and that's why you see this search result.
Okay.
This is just one use case. It's not only limited to this one.
Okay.
Most easiest one which can link you with configuration manager. Any questions?
And one more thing, primary type is there, na property. So what are the possible values for that primary type, like component, template, folder, like that? What are the possible things?
Everything that is present in this list can be a primary type.
Okay. Fine. Thank you, Ashish.
Anything else?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashish, when we may get this license file?
Yep. So licenses would be provided to you after enrollment.
Yeah.
You'll have to reach out to organizers.
Okay.
And once they confirm, like again, once you are enrolled, I'll receive your email IDs. I'll register under your name, and then it'll be done. So Adobe takes around 24 to 48 hours after I submit the request.
Okay.